Let's begin today by feeling into the sensation of your body being supported by the floor, the cushion, the chair. It's just taking a moment to tune into that sensation where the cushion, the floor, or the chair connects with your body. Just taking a moment to get curious about that sensation. It's that simple sensation of your body making contact with the floor, the cushion, or the chair. And if you like, you can use the breath to help support you in this. Breathing in, feeling the connection of the body with the floor, cushion, or chair. And breathing out, feeling the connection of your body with whatever it's being supported by. So you may be aware of the butt, the legs, the feet, the back, or other parts of the body that are making contact with whatever's supporting you. And so simply bringing attention back to these simple sensations with every inhale and every exhale. And anytime the mind starts to wander, gently and without judgment, bringing your attention back to these simple sensations. And if you find now that you're very aware of the sensations of sitting, and you want to adjust in some way, you are totally welcome to do that. Just doing it in as mindful a way as possible. So sitting still, there is some discomfort in that. That's not really optional. The body getting used to stopping without going to sleep. And the habitual patterns of trying to get comfortable can really come up a lot when we start to learn to sit still with ourselves. And I want to invite you to work with this in a really clear and loving way. So clear by taking the time to really acknowledge what's going on physically, what's going on emotionally and mentally, what's being triggered by simply being still. Becoming aware of that. Taking a moment to slow down enough to become aware of that habitual pattern, that compulsive need to get comfortable. Just noticing what's that made of. And then loving by really doing what's best for your body. Not trying to win the Meditator of the Year award. Not trying to sit so still that you're going to attain classical enlightenment on the spot. Being loving towards yourself, being kind. So taking a few more minutes here to just simply feel these sensations of sitting. Maybe using the breath to support you in concentration and clarity here. And using whatever effort is required, but not more than is required. Breathing in, feeling the body sitting, supported. Breathing out, feeling the body sitting, supported. Now I want you to tune in specifically to the feeling of support that you're getting from the chair, from the cushion, from the floor. Just this simple, unconditional support. So to beginning to relate to the sensations of sitting as being supported. And if it's interesting or helpful for you, you might even say in your mind, support, or I am supported, as you feel this sensation of being supported by the floor, the building, foundation of the building, and the earth beneath that. This support of the earth is something that we can often take for granted. Being in Southern California, sometimes the earth can get a little shaky, but for the most part, it supports us. Every time we take a step, it's there to meet us. Every time we drive our car, it's there for the wheels to roll on. Go outside to take a hike, the dirt, the grass, the rocks, they're there for us to walk on. We want to play a sport or pitch a tent or dance. There's this support that we don't have to earn, we don't have to deserve. It's ours from the gate. Birthright. Support of the earth. So taking a few minutes now to really just tune into that in whatever way feels most authentic for you. There's not a right way to receive support. I'm not even necessarily saying you have to feel grateful or anything like that, but just noticing that it's there. We're being supported all the time by the earth. Anytime you get pulled off into something else, just coming back to this simple and unconditional support. However that occurs to you moment by moment. Perhaps again using the breath to support you in recognizing the support. Breathing in, supported by the earth. Breathing out, supported by the earth. And as you do this, if you notice any experience of gratitude or appreciation, just recognizing that and encouraging it. And if you don't, that's fine too. Using this time to practice recognizing that you are supported. And even if you're not feeling supported in very many ways, there is this support which is pretty powerful. And completely free. Nothing you have to do to get it. From here, we're going to start to look at something else that is free and available to us anytime. It may not always be as readily available, but we can practice, and the more we practice, the more available it will be. And that is relaxation in our bodies. And so start right now, before we do anything, just noticing what relaxation is available now. You can go ahead and scan through the body and notice any areas where relaxation is present. And when you come in contact with a sensation of relaxation, feel it, acknowledge it. If you like, you can label it by saying relaxed or relax or I am relaxed. And these suggestions of labels or affirmations are just suggestions, only to be used if they're helpful for you. So sometimes it might be harder to find this relaxation. And one of the things we can do is we can practice intentionally relaxing, cultivating an experience of relaxation in the body. So just like we can practice any skill, learning an instrument or a language or software or how to do a specific style of dance, we can learn the skill of relaxation, and it really just takes practice. And so we can practice that together now, starting with the forehead, inviting the forehead to soften, smooth out, and relax. Including the eyebrows and the space between the eyebrows in this relaxation. And I invite you to really feel the relaxation. So this might seem like a really simple meditation practice, but you can make it quite advanced, quite interesting, by simply getting really, really interested in the sensations of relaxation, zooming in and out to various qualities of relaxation in the body, noticing what it's like to simply feel it. Clear, pure relaxation. Relaxing into the eyes and the muscles around the eyes. Relaxing down the face and into the jaw. How relaxed can the jaw be? Can you allow the mouth to drop open just a little? And I know this is, for some, a really vulnerable position, to be sitting quietly with the mouth slightly open. And so you decide, does that vulnerability support you in relaxing, or does it just make you feel too uncomfortable? You can play around. But what we're working towards is the ability to walk through our lives, move through our interactions without needing to hold the jaw tight, without needing to lock it in order to get through the day. And so we can practice this during our meditation by just seeing, okay, can I allow the mouth to open just a little bit? Just in a natural, released, relaxed way. Or maybe the lips are together, but the teeth are parted, so we're not even slightly gritting the teeth. Continuing down into the neck, relaxing the muscles of the neck. And the trick here is to keep coming back to what will relax rather than getting hung up on what won't. So if, like me, you have shoulders like steel, they may not relax completely just because you're sitting down and asking them to. And so we want to learn to be okay with whatever version of relaxation is available, and then to be with that relaxation rather than with the judgment of what's not relaxed or the desire to be more relaxed. And keep drawing the attention back to where the relaxation is present. And slowly over time that starts to release some of the resistance, some of the holding. The body starts to learn that it's safe to release, to relax, to stop trying to hold it all together. It's okay to come apart. The holding together can start to really give us this sense of being separate and solid. And when we start to allow little by little for things to come apart, then maybe we start to get an experiential sense of the unity that's inherent. Always available. Relaxing down both of your arms, the muscles of the arms relaxing. Joints of the elbows and the wrists relaxing. And relaxing into your hands, all the way to your fingertips. And just a little invitation, what if the relaxation doesn't end at your fingertips? What if it's not contained? What if it is a dynamic, moving activity? Coming apart, coming together, connecting you to everything, everyone else. Relaxing into your chest, softening all around the heart, the rib cage. Feeling the release in the chest with each exhale. Perhaps that taking you deeper and deeper into realization of relaxation. Inviting this relaxation to continue to move down into the abdomen, the stomach, the organs, the whole intricate system that we have in this part of our body. How much can we invite it to soften? If you, like me, have challenges with digestion, the simple practice of inviting relaxation every day into this part of the body can be really healing and really powerful. And if you spend just 10 minutes relaxing the stomach, you start to hear the stomach rumble a little bit as it settles, unwinds, relaxes. Moving to the back, inviting the muscles of the back to release. And again, you get to make this practice whatever you want to make it. So if just relaxing your back seems boring, why don't you try just relaxing your back an inch at a time? Or noticing the different strands of experience in relaxation. The buzz, vibration, undulation, the waves, the expansions, the contractions, the warmth. So many things going on that you can tune into, get interested in, and have a new experience of. Now we'll continue to invite this relaxation into the hips. Can you really allow those hips to release as much as possible in the position you're in? Feeling them widen, feeling that hum of relaxation. As you start to relax in these parts of the body, maybe a big sigh wants to come, maybe a gentle movement of the spine. Maybe a yawn or a little jerk of release in the body somewhere. Just allowing the body to do what it needs to do, trusting the process. Coming around to the seat, really relaxing the muscles of the butt, relaxing all around the tailbone. And if you're aware of any sort of discomfort in the butt from sitting, see if you can imagine a softening, a melting, so that there's not that hard feeling, but instead softness. And moving your attention to the pelvic area. Using your physical awareness to explore this part of your body. And to notice where can you let go a little bit or a lot. So feeling into the muscles of the pelvic floor, the muscles you would use to stop peeing midstream. Feeling into those muscles, and can you just let them go? Or maybe let them go a little. And this is a place where the breath can also be a good support. You can breathe into this part of the body, breathing into the pelvic area. And on the exhale, just softening and settling. Continuing to invite that relaxation down both of your legs, the muscles of the thighs, the joints of the knees, the muscles of the calves relaxing, ankle joints relaxing. And relaxing into your feet. So we've so far explored 3 different kinds of support that are available anytime, anywhere. And that's the earth, the ground. That is relaxation that's already present or that we cultivate and encourage. And I've also mentioned the breath a number of times. As long as we're alive, we're going to have the breath. Even if we're dealing with health challenges that cause issues with breathing, we're still breathing. That support's still there. And if we can't breathe on our own, there are machines that can support us in that. So if we're alive, there is oxygen moving in and out of the body. So everyone here is alive. So you have the breath supporting you. We used it to facilitate mindfulness. We also used it to help expand and soften areas of the body. So let's now move attention to just simply the breath. If for any reason breath meditation is not supportive for you, doesn't feel good for you, then keep working with something else that we've done today. But if a breath meditation sounds good, you can start to shift your attention to the area around the nostrils. Beginning to feel the air move in and out of the nose. And what I want us all to focus on here is the simplicity and beauty of just breathing. We just have a couple minutes left of our practice here, so even if you're ready to move on, see if you can give yourself the gift of being with that simple beauty of breathing. And if you like, you can stay with the nostrils, the air moving in and out. Or you could move to the chest or the stomach. Or you could just notice the entire body breathing. Whatever feels most simple and beautiful for you. Just breathing in and breathing out. And if it would be helpful or fun for you, you can bring just a little smile onto the face, just really subtle, effortless, and see if that encourages this sense of beauty and simplicity of breathing. See if it encourages a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the breath, for the oxygen that's just here. We get to breathe it. Every day, every night, it's there for us. Breathing in and breathing out. The air is there, the oxygen's there, and the body knows what to do. No one has to teach us how to breathe. Our bodies simply do it. Now from here, if your eyes are closed, just gently start to open them, just taking in a little bit of light, but continue to stay with the sensations of breathing. And so we're shifting from a formal practice into kind of in between. We're still in our meditation, but we're allowing in the stimuli of sight, while continuing to bring attention back to the sensation of breathing and possibly to how simple and beautiful it is, and possibly to our appreciation and gratitude for the breath, for the oxygen, for our body's capacity to breathe. And so the system might activate a bit as you open the eyes, right? You might feel even a little bit of anxiety come into the body. And so just notice that. Oh, wow, just by simply opening my eyes, my body activates a bit. It gets ready for something. And so with eyes open, see if you can call up the support that we've been working on acknowledging today. Noticing the support of the earth. Noticing the support of relaxation wherever it's present. And if we're not aware of it, noticing how we can pretty easily start to cultivate it, even with our eyes open. And also this simple support of the breath. And so opening the eyes fully now, just allowing the sights of the room to be part of your experience. Because it's great to be able to sit quietly and feel peaceful and have serenity and calm and feel supported and relaxed. But that's just a tiny part of what we're doing here. That's the 10 or 15 or 30 or hour you do a day of practice. But it wants to come into all of life. Not just when we're sitting on a cushion or listening to a guided meditation. So continuing here, to notice the support that's available. And we especially want to be able to learn to do this while we're out in the world. There's a lot coming at us in any given moment, even when we're not in the times that we're in right now. Just walking down the street, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to give you a little more light so you can continue this. I'm going to work with this just a little bit longer and see if you can stick with it. So again, just being aware of what's coming up for you now that we've sort of shifted. We're letting the world back in. We're still in this room, but we can hear the sounds outside. And we're aware of the fact that eventually we'll leave this room. And so now that we're not dropped into a sort of internal experience, is it possible to tune into the support? And let's try it. Let's just notice, okay, there's my butt on the seat, there's my feet on the floor. There's my back on the cushion, however it is you're positioned. Feel that with the eyes open, with all of the stimuli, which it's not a lot right now, right? We're somewhat contained. But with this stimuli, can I still tune in to this unconditional, totally free support, this support that's my birthright, the earth? And what is it like to sit here, eyes open, not in a meditation, and aware of that support? And then try tuning into something that feels relaxed in your body. And again, the eyes open, there's stimuli, right? It's like, oh, but we're not doing the meditation anymore. So I can't, but you can. You can be doing all kinds of things and also be in touch with relaxation. And it pretty much makes everything better. So it's a good skill to learn. So tuning in, where is a place that feels relaxed? So for me right now, my ankles actually feel really relaxed. I can feel a fair amount of relaxation in the sides of the torso and my cheeks. So I'm just tuning into the areas where I'm most aware of relaxation, and I'm avoiding the draw to close my eyes and go in. But instead, starting to practice how deep into relaxation can I get with my eyes open. Because relaxed doesn't necessarily mean meditative or sleeping, or it can be quite active and relaxed. And then also with the eyes open, noticing the breath. So this is something I really like to do during the day when I'm just moving around. I'm mostly in my house and moving around my house, doing different things. I really like to have the breath to return to throughout the day, just as a meditation in action, something that I'm always coming back to because it's always there. It's never not there. And even one day of practicing returning to the breath throughout the day, by the next day it starts to become more and more automatic. And so just noticing, what is it like to sit here, listen to me, be aware of other people, sounds, the sensations of the body coming out of the posture, and also be aware of the sensation of breathing. And now I just want you to imagine, so just these three aspects of support, the earth, and by that I don't mean like Mother Earth, I do, but I don't. I just mean that there's the ground, and it's there, and it's pretty solid for the most part. I saw a meme. I saw a meme the other day with all these images from movies from the 80s, from my childhood, with people sinking in quicksand. And then it was like, when I was a kid, it seemed like quicksand was going to be a much bigger deal. I just laughed and laughed because it really did. I remember thinking, wow, like this is going to be a real problem, quicksand. But it's generally not. I've never experienced quicksand once in my life. I've experienced a few earthquakes, but they've been really small. We haven't had any really, really major earthquakes here in quite some time. So it's just there. There's that support. So there's the earth. And then there's the relaxation that's already there, because even if you're a very tense person, and unfortunately I'm a very tense person, it's the nature of some of my ailments is that my body just, like, I saw a new doctor and he just like touched my shoulder and he's like, oh, I was like, yeah. I was like, and I meditate every day. I was like, so it's just the nature of my body at this point. That's just the way it is. And so, even so, there are areas of my body anytime that are relaxed. Anytime. And most of you have heard like the story of like me in the hospital, immense and like pain to the level where you're going in and out of consciousness, but my feet felt relaxed. So just focus on my feet, right? It's not just as good as the Dilaudid they gave me, but it was like pretty close. Like it was a close second in that moment. It got me through until they hooked up the IV. So that's always there, some aspect of relaxation. And if you're not aware of it, if it doesn't seem to be there for you, then you can cultivate it. And it's just the willingness is all that it takes. And you can do what we did today, where we're just scanning through the body and releasing and relaxing. Or you could actually tighten up and then release and just feel, oh, when I release, there's relaxation. And that's a way to start getting in touch with it. So always available. Always, really. I mean, one of my teachers, Shinzen, would say that like even if you were being tortured and torn limb from limb, you could find some area if you had the meditation skills. Hopefully none of us will be in that situation to test it. And then there's the breath. Always there. In fact, if you've ever had an experience of not being able to breathe, you become really aware of how it's always there. You know, I had a few like teenage drug experiences of not being able to breathe, and I think I've had a few, like, I had a near drowning experience and a few like hyperventilating experiences in my life. And you can't breathe, you know you can't breathe, it's really obvious. So most of the time, all of the time, unless something really is happening or you're dead, you're breathing. So it's there. So these three kinds of support are always here. And we can practice returning to them and being aware of them. So why would we want to do this? Well, number one, it's just really nice to be supported. I would say a lot of the clients I work with that's like one of the number one things people are looking for, is just to feel supported. I know there's definitely been times in my life where that's really all that I want. I just want to feel supported, right? I think as humans, it's a real need. And to be able to recognize that there's unconditional support at any time is a superpower. And it can feed this part of us that's just longing, you know. And especially if we come from childhoods where we didn't get support in important ways, coming into understanding that support is always there and always available is so healing, so powerful. And it's something that we can cultivate. We don't need to pay anyone. We don't need to buy anything. It's just there. So I think another part of being human is offering support. is being of service. Like when I really boil it down, the two things that I think, the only things that make sense as to why I'm here is to have a good fucking time and to be of service. Like that's it. Like I can't come up with anything else really. Because it's all encapsulated in that, right? Like one way or another. So being of service, being able to offer support. It's really, really hard to offer support when we're not feeling supported. And for a lot of people right now, I would say for everyone right now, it doesn't really matter really where you land in the opinion spectrum, there's a real feeling of not being supported, of not being seen, of not being held. And everybody's just trying to feel supported, and everybody's so freaked out and out of alignment and totally dysregulated. Everyone is just really freaked out right now. And to be able to cultivate support for yourself and to actually feel supported even in the midst of everything going on in the world and everything going on in your personal life, you then become a really powerful agent for change in the world. Because you can take that sense of feeling supported and you can start to direct it outward. And whether you're just simply modeling, this is what it looks like to be supported, to be integrated, to be practicing radical self-love and acceptance, just modeling it is huge. It does more than you can possibly imagine. And I'm lucky because I get reminded of that, because I'll get a message from someone I don't know saying like, this one thing you said. And to me, I was just like saying, I'm just like, it comes up and I write it down, but that feedback is really helpful, and it reminds me, oh, that's why I'm doing this. That's why even when I'm not feeling well and the last thing I want to do is like create a post on social media, it might be supportive to someone. And so first I got to take care of myself. There might be a day I just can't do it, right? There might be a day that it's just like, well, the best I can do is a selfie and hey, everyone, you're great, I love you, right? Which just can sometimes be enough. But it really does matter on whatever level you're doing that, whether you're doing it through social media or through being a therapist or through being an artist or whatever it is, through just being nice to the people in your office and modeling this idea of really being self-supporting through what's right there, what's available, what's all around us, what's in us. It matters. And then from there, not only can we model, but we can actually start to act. We can take steps to actually support other people. And sometimes supporting other people looks like protest, and sometimes supporting other people looks like having a one-on-one conversation, and sometimes supporting other people just looks like not being an asshole on the internet. That's something we can all do. We really can. Because it's one thing when you're sitting with somebody and they're saying something and you're like, oh my God, oh no, like, what did you say? Like, every part of me is like boiling because it feels so wrong to my system. That takes some skill in that moment, which is why we like to create bubbles around ourselves where we don't have to engage with those people that we don't agree with, which I do the same, right? Like I've got a nice bubble, and that's part of the way I support myself, right? But I don't want to get so used to that bubble that I can't be of support to people outside of it, as a side note. So face to face, it can be hard to pause when you're feeling riled up or offended or deeply hurt, rageful. But on the internet, you really can. You can be like, oh, I'm starting to write let me just stop writing it, or let me just don't push post, or let me just erase it, let me take it, let me just edit it, whatever, there's all these stops along the way that you can not be a jerk online. And I don't care what the other person is saying. I don't care. If I say something unkind on the internet, I apologize. I apologize publicly, even if it's somebody who's saying something that I think is just horrendous. Because that's something I can do. That's a kind of support I can offer. I can offer it to me, to my own nervous system, because when I'm angrily, blah, 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 my opinion, even if it feels really true, that is getting fight, flight, freeze, all going in the body. All the stress hormones are going, you're getting all just, right? So that's not supportive to myself. So number one, I'm supporting myself by being aware of how I'm interacting. But I'm also being supportive to other people. And you can start to see this if you practice this. If you are choosing to engage in conversation, debate, whatever, online, and you come from a place of being supportive, being loving, being resourced, being integrated, not being in fight, flight, freeze, people will respond to you differently. Or they won't respond, oftentimes. Which is fine, you know? It cuts that cord of like me and us and them, right and wrong, good and bad. Now, relatively speaking, yeah, I have some pretty strong opinions about certain things. But in the absolute terms, there is no separation between me and anybody else. And so I can support that insight, that knowledge that I've gained through practice by being aware of how I'm interacting. In person, online, whatever. But this all comes back to feeling supported. So there's no way of going out in the world and being a support to others, especially being a support to people who we feel are threatening our very lives or our human rights. We can't be supportive to those people if we don't feel supported. No way. Because every single word and image is just going to be stabbing us in the heart. We also can't go out and actually do anything. Really do something. I've been studying a lot about activism lately. And I've been really interested in like what makes activism work, what makes it fall apart. What's the best way to practice activism? And I just again and again keep coming back to this idea of we have to start with ourselves. We have to be supported, right? So we just went through these ways we can feel supported. We've got to be taking care of these bodies and these minds. If these bodies and these minds are all whacked out, doesn't matter if we're right or not. There's no way to really sustain a kind of really effective activism. And so as simple as what we did today might be, it's actually revolutionary. Because if everybody was doing it, if everybody was sitting down and noticing all the unconditional support that's available, we would be living in a really, really different culture. So, it does matter. It does matter that we sit down and practice, and it does matter that we support community, and it does matter that we're willing to speak even when our opinions might be lobbed into like, love's going to solve everything, whatever, which I get a lot. But that's not really what I'm saying. I'm not saying put a love sticker on it. I'm saying like, wake the fuck up to the fact that you are love. And there's no getting away from it. And when you wake up to it, when you really see it, when you really see just how big that love is, then you just simply can't move through the world from a place of constant resentment and fear and anger and rage and disconnection.